This video is about graphing lines. Here's the types of lines you're going to need to graph for the test. The first type would be lines that are in slope-intercept form. So the first line we're going to look at is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. So the first thing I need to do is go to the y-intercept, which is 4, and plot a point. And then from the y-intercept, I use the slope of negative 2/3. And when you have a slope that's negative, you can put the negative sign on either of the two numbers, but not both of them. So for this one, you can have the slope as negative 2/3, or you can have it as 2/3, okay, but not negative 2/3. Okay, this is bad. So when I use the slope, I'll go, if I use the negative 2/3, I go down 2, and then right 3, 1, 2, 3, and then that takes me to that point. Or you can see, if I do the opposite, I can go up 2 and to the left 3, and that will still take me to another point that's on the line. And then I can just fill my line in, and I'm done. Here's a different example, this time with a positive slope. So start with -6, the y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept goes on the y-axis, which is here, not the x-axis, which is there. And then the slope is 3, so in this case I will write it as 3/1. The opposite of 3/1 here would be with two negative signs, so I could write it as negative 3/1 if I so chose. So I can go up 3 and to the right 1, so that would be one option. And in this case, going down 3 takes me off the graph, so I'm really not going to bother with that one. If I wanted to, I could do a couple more up 3, right 1s, and then there's my line. Okay, notice the one with the positive slope goes up to the right, the one with the negative slope goes down to the right, and that's one way you can tell if you graph the line the correct way. Here's standard form. So if we're in standard form, then we need to change it to y equals mx plus b. So remember, we did that in the slope video. First thing, move the 2x over to the other side by doing the opposite. So 3y equals negative 2x minus 9. And then divide by the number in front of y, which in this case is positive 3. So y equals negative 2/3 x minus 3. And now graph it the same way. The y-intercept is -3. The slope is negative 2/3. So we'll go down 2 and right 3. And then just draw in the line. Here's point slope form. Point slope form does not involve the y-intercept at all, unless it happens to be the y-intercept in the equation, which usually you won't see happening. Point slope involves just a point on the graph and then the slope. So as we've seen before, the slope is this number, and the point, here's the x value, here's the y value, but the key is the actual point, we have to change the sign. And so to find the point, I'm going to look and I see x minus 3, so I'm going to have x equals positive 3, and y plus 1, so y equals negative 1. That's an important part, and then I just plot the point, 3, negative 1. And now I use the slope of 1/4, so I can go up 1. Whoops, sorry, I just erased my point. And now I put it in the wrong spot. There's 3, negative 1. and then I use the slope and I go up 1 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if I wanted, I could go down 1 and to the left 4. And then draw in my line. The last two cases are the special cases, just plain x equals and just plain y equals. For x equals, we need to draw a line through x equals negative 2. Well, here's x equals negative 2, and it can only be x equals negative 2. The only way I can draw a line that only goes through x equals negative 2 is if I draw that line up and down, or in other words, a vertical line. If I draw the line horizontal, the problem is it's going through all the x values, and I don't want all the x values. So I only want x equals negative 2. So for that, we make a vertical line. And for y equals 4, the y equals, for the same reason as x, is vertical, the y equals is horizontal. Notice it only goes through y equals 4. And those are the ways to graph lines.